If it's in Hampton Roads, it's on the Hampton Roads Show.
Welcome to the Hampton Roads Show. Our live audience today is from the 34th Annual Conference on the Black Family, coming up to the Hampton University campus in a couple weeks. We'll get the details and more straight ahead.
And Wedding Week continues today on the Hampton Roads Show. The folks from Bayport Credit Union are here with some important details for newlyweds when it comes to health and financial benefits.
Plus, an 18th century home standing strong in Virginia Beach could be the perfect place to tie the knot in the 21st century. We're visiting the Lynn Haven House in today's postcard from Hampton Roads.
And in the kitchen today, it's Chef Jeff Sims from Abuelos at Peninsula Town Center in Hampton. He's here to share a tasty favorite from their menu, tilapia veracruz.
Jeff went right for the tilapia, man.
Yes,
He's ready to go.
I said wave, and he's like, we're going to get started.
Let's get right on to it.
Show everybody whether our refrigerator needs to be cleaned out or whether we're
Don't forget to close
we
that.
had, well, that lobster was in there for the longest time. You remember that? And you helped
our buddy. We didn't give it a name, though.
Well, people ask, is that a real, is the kitchen real? It's like, yes, it is a real functioning kitchen.
That's right. Oh, hey, you know what? Weird day today.
I know.
Or is it? I don't know. It's a leap day, which, nobody knows how to react unless you're on salary and you don't get paid for today. I don't know.
I hadn't even thought about that until you brought it up this morning. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry for anybody who's on salary because you don't get paid. It's an extra day for you.
Consider yourself a volunteer today. There's nothing wrong with giving back.
Leap day, every 4 years it comes around, and anyone who's born on this day, they finally get a birthday.
But do you celebrate February 28th or March 1st?
Yeah,
that is the question.
That is the question.
Also, fun fact with wedding week and proposals, generally the rule of thumb is the men propose to the women, but legend has it that in the year 1288 in Scotland, it was made legal for women to propose to men in a leap year only. So if you were going to propose to your man,
that's hilarious. Only once every 4 years.
Once every 4 years.
It was legal.
And if the guy declined or he said no, then he had to buy her like a silk dress and a pair of shoes.
And a donkey.
A donkey.
And a donkey.
And a goat.
No, I don't know.
So women were like asking their non-committal men knowing they were getting the dress. It was like, I'm getting the silk dress day.
And the shoes with the goat. Boom.
Oh, that's funny.
But it just brings the question of proposals,
Well, apparently 80% of proposals are done by men nowadays. So that's a lot of women out there. A lot of women are out there going around, hey, the question is, are they asking or are they putting pressure on the man saying, listen, this has got to happen. 3.5 years of dating is enough.
Yeah, I mean, 80% of men may propose, but I bet in a lot of those situations, shortly before the proposal, there was the hey buddy conversation, Yeah.
So I guess what are we asking about?
You didn't feel pressure, did you?
Well, I didn't, but I had a long distance relationship for 2.5 years, and I said for 2.5 years, I said, hey, don't you worry, everything's cool. Once you come back in town, we will make it official. And then I popped the question, but it went really bad. It went wrong.
What happened?
Well, I was surfing in Cape Hatteras on that day, and we were supposed to go to dinner, and I got back late, and we went to dinner, and then we went to an opera, and in between, I threw the question out there, and she said yes, and we went to the opera. So it did not go well at all. And of course, Kathy was a good sport about it, and she still kind of gives me a couple nudges about it today, but she didn't say no. So.
Kev proposed at the beach. Probably pretty common around here. It was nice.
One of my friends said he did the same thing, but he put a note in a shell, and she checked it out, pulled it out, and will you marry me?
You take a lot of chances when you're bringing an expensive ring around sand, water.
Yeah. Or like you talked to yesterday, where if you do propose and she just says no, runs away in the opposite direction.
That could be bad.
Yeah. Scary. So we're proposal stories. Did you propose to your man, or how did it go for you? We want to know your stories. Let us know. It should be fun to share some proposal stories today.
Yeah. Also, then once you're married, how do you handle the whole issue of politics? We were catching up this morning on the primaries in Michigan and Arizona last night, and it kind of got me thinking, like, what do you do if you're married to somebody who is of a different political affiliation? I'm not talking like the day-to-day politics over who does the laundry and unloads the dishwasher. I'm talking like if you're a Democrat and you're married to a Republican, do you talk about it? Do you enjoy the lively debate, or is that a subject that you say, hey, leaving it alone?
It seems like it's very much like religion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you're opposites in your party affiliation or in your religion, you really need to come together and talk about that.
Yep.
Or you just I don't know. Can't avoid it. It's got to come up at some point.
Yeah, you totally can't avoid it. I would say talk about it.
Yeah.
It'd be a healthy debate, healthy discussion. Get the kids in on it.
Do you ask each other who you voted for, who you're voting for, you know?
I think those discussions definitely come up over dinner. You watch the political process and you go, you know what, he just doesn't seem right for us. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
It's politics.
it's politics. It can be a sticky situation subject for some people, though.
Yeah.
I'm a registered independent, just to reserve the right to, you know.
Go to both sides.
Yeah, sure.
Go with the best man. Best man for the job. I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah. Kevin and I tend to be politically like-minded, I guess.
Politically neutral.
No,
politically
like-minded.
On the same thing.
No, no, no.
sorry, just throwing some
I
words
don't
out
think
there.
he's a registered independent. You know, I know where our views both tend to lean, and I'm making a conscious choice to not move my hands left or right. But we don't have like big arguments and debates. We will talk more about like issues than people. But you know, in an election year, it all becomes the same thing, doesn't it? But we don't want to talk about politics here because we all have a wonderful relationship. And, you know, we just don't talk about that.
We can talk about the weather.
The weather is always a safe topic.
There
Let's
you
bring
have
it
it.
on
Just like
Harvey
that, we
Wheeler.
went to the weather.
When in doubt, go to weather. But let us know your
That's a
your
cop-out.
thoughts. You can join in on the conversation, of course, on Facebook, and you can also follow us on Twitter at HR_show.
Jeremy's going to leap right on over on this leap day.
Ba-dum,
Take the
ching.
leap of faith on our wedding week.
Yeah. People, you know, it'd be tough. You know, you get married on the 29th of February. I mean, what would
When's
you do?
your anniversary?
That's probably like the best time for guys. Like, every 4 years. Then they probably forget that too.
Get to skimp out, right?
You don't have to buy anything every
Honey, what
until
happened 4 years ago? Yeah.
Nice. But boy, if you forget that 4th year, you're in deep,
You are
deep
deep.
trouble. Right?
Look at that.
It'd be really bad. Sorry, honey, I'll see you in another 4 years.
You know, this whole leap year thing comes back to you weather guys and the astronomical, the sun doesn't get around as quick or something like that on the calendar. I mean, it's all your fault, man.
Add an extra day, because, it's pretty complicated stuff. I don't have time to explain all that.
Come on, man.
But I'm sure you know about it.
No, I can't. But I will talk about the weather today. We got warm temperatures this afternoon. Yeah, we're going to warm things up nicely. Here, let's take a look at it, the 7-day forecast. 67 today. We got some showers moving in later this afternoon and a few thunderstorms towards the evening time. And then tomorrow is going to be very warm. Highs in the upper 70s. We got fair skies, breezy west winds. Friday, a little bit cooler, highs near 60, then 70 on the way for Saturday. Get some showers, some thunderstorms there, windy conditions again, and then a big cool down coming in for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with highs back in the low to mid 50s. All right, a bit of a wordplay one today, so let's see what we got. The first one's not a wordplay, but North Suffolk is the first clue. Another name for Charles. Put your shirt in, question mark, and A in the middle. So put those together and see what you come up with. TheHamptonRoadshow.com, and good luck to everybody out there.
Take a leap of faith as Ariane moves on over to the kitchen. Hello. Checking it out.
All right, today's winner will get a $50 gift certificate for Ocean Palm.
All right, I leaped over to the Hampton Roadshow kitchen, in the kitchen here with Chef Jeff Sims from Abuelo's at Peninsula Town Center in Hampton. Welcome to the Hampton Roadshow.
Thank you very much.
So what are you going to make for us today?
Today I'll be making tilapia Veracruz. Very light, very quick, it's got a little spice to it, but very good dish.
And one thing you guys have come on before, a lot of people think Abuelo's that it's just all Mexican, but you guys do more than that.
We do a lot of Tex-Mex. We have some authentic Mexican, but we also do things that I'm sure that not a lot of Mexican restaurants do. You know, we have a few pastas, we have steaks, and it's a wide variety.
But it's all just as good, I bet.
There's something for everyone.
And you were talking about that mean happy hour.
The happy hour is vicious. I'll tell you what, it's very vicious.
Well, definitely talk about that and get started on this and go over ingredients when we come back from the break. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, still ahead, we're talking with our live audience about the 34th Annual Conference on the Black Family coming to Hampton University in just a couple of weeks.
One person can truly make a difference. You can see that at the REACH offices in Ghent in Norfolk. I'm Cheryl Tan. I'll tell you about a new online way to connect volunteers with opportunities to help in our community.
Welcome back, everyone, in the kitchen with Chef Jeff Sims from Abuelos at Peninsula Town Center in Hampton, making a delicious dish for us, tilapia Veracruz. And it's more than just Mexican, so that's great that we get to feature you guys showing some seafood here. But first, let's go over ingredients, what you brought for us today.
All right. Well, of course, we have the tilapia. I have a little clarified butter. We have our secret seasoning spice here.
Secret seasoning.
Secret seasoning. Somebody knew what it was once, but he disappeared. We have chopped garlic, poblano peppers. We have a spicy tomato sauce, our green olives, guarito, or what we call guerrero peppers, and diced Roma tomatoes.
So already I can just tell from the ingredients, this is going to be, we're going to be kicking this up a notch. It's a got a little kick to it.
Got a little kick to it.
Okay, all right.
If you like it extra hot, throw a couple of, you can throw a couple of red chilies in there if you want to, but those guerrero peppers are great.
Really? Are these really hot?
A little bit. They're probably somewhere in between a green pepper and a habanero.
Okay. All right.
You got a little bit of spice to it.
Okay. All right. So the tilapia, I know you said you want to season the fish.
Absolutely. You're going to season the meat side, the fat side.
Okay.
Okay. Just real light dusting. You don't want to get too much on there. You don't want to make it too salty.
Okay.
You don't want to overpower the actual sauce or anything.
It's always that question, how much do you season the fish?
Right. Well, you don't want to, like I say, you don't want to overdo it. So
okay.
You're going to take a little of that margarine or butter. Make sure your pan's good and hot.
Because, yeah, that would be...
Because you got to sear.
Just throw the fish in there and you don't hear the sizzle, then what do you do?
That's right? You let it sit in there and overcook.
Yeah. So what, you have that about on high, well, you put it on high and then...
Put it on high, and then once you get the fish in there, you're just going to get a nice little, browning to it.
All right. Season side down.
Season side down.
Now, do you season the other side or no?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So you guys have any specials going on right now?
Right now we're doing our coastal seafood celebration. We have a couple of extra seafood dishes that just got introduced. Fideo con camarón, and we do a new pescado guerrero, which is with a fish called barramundi.
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 Now, what does that taste like? Is that like a light?
It's like a. It's a really light. It's almost like a tilapia. It's a little bit bigger, but you know, it's a very good fish.
Okay.
Very light. It's the Asian version of sea bass.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Now, is this a pretty popular dish at the restaurant? A lot of people order the tilapia very
Yeah, very, very popular dish. Very easy to make. Like I say, it can be made at home, no problem. You know, all these ingredients you can find at any grocery store except the secret seasoning.
Well.
You know,
okay, well, I might be able to guess what's in that.
Go ahead.
Maybe.
If you can guess it, you might disappear too, so I'd be careful.
Well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and put that down.
All right.
How do you know when your fish is done? For those who maybe have never attempted to cook fish or tilapia, I know it's very quick though.
When you get it through when you can push through the meatier side of it, if it goes right through with no problem, then your fish is done. If you feel a little bit of resistance in there, then you probably need to let it cook for a few more minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just almost just about done.
Yep. This isn't gonna, like I said, it doesn't take very long. See how easily the spatula goes in there and stuff.
The spatula goes. Okay, I got you.
So that's almost done. You want to reduce your heat a little bit and let it cook real slowly.
Just simmer down.
Yep, just simmer down now.
Simmer down. Now, you guys have 2 locations in the Hampton Roads area, one in Hampton and one in Chesapeake.
Right.
But you guys are located all throughout the country.
We're in 20 different states, and we have around 37 restaurants. We actually have one that's opening right now in Fort Worth, Texas.
Really?
Yeah, I just came back from one that was up in Michigan. So we're having pretty good success pretty much everywhere we go. So.
And talk about this happy hour. When does it start for those who've never been?
From 4 to 7. From 4 to 7, Sunday through Friday. You're good. The only day we don't have happy hour is Saturday.
Really?
Yep.
It's just, but you're open. You can still go in, go to the bar.
Oh
have a meal.
Oh yeah. Still have our huge margaritas anytime.
Yeah.
$3, $4 margaritas. I don't get to see much of it because I'm usually working during happy hour, but
you stay busy.
I stay pretty busy.
All right, well, we're going to let this cook up, and we're going to add all the ingredients in our next segment, put it all together, and then get to taste when we come back. Thanks so much.
Not a problem.
Well, people in our community have shown time and time again they're pretty committed to helping other people.
Yeah, really. It's a nice community to live in. And over the years, I've really enjoyed seeing what happens when volunteers get behind a cause to donate money and time. Now, the time part of that equation is what we're talking about today. In some cases, people know they have the time to give, but don't always know where their talents can best be used. The United Way of Southampton Roads went online to find a solution to that in today's What's Your Problem?
I think one of my favorites is Three Dog Night.
I'm a big Dr. Seuss fan because I write poetry myself.
One of my favorite books is The Giving Tree, which all kind of comes back to volunteerism and how important it is within our community.
Rita Bunner, Kristen Pond, and James Harris regularly take their love of books on the road. They volunteer for REACH, which stands for Reading Enriches All Children, and they reach out by reading aloud to at-risk kids in homeless shelters.
The kids are always excited. They've been at school normally for the day, so they're a little tired, but once they start engaging with you, they're fun, they're happy to see you.
I think especially as a male, and then even as an African American male, to be able to, for a child to look at me and see that, hey, here's this guy that's reading to me, this is something different than what I'm used to.
Reading is such a simple thing to do for a child, and it makes a difference in their life that you show the interest and show them how important reading is.
At the REACH offices in Ghent, employees are extremely excited about this week's National Read Across America Day. Also, Dr. Seuss's birthday. Thanks, Jordan. They're also thrilled about the new online way to connect volunteers with their mission.
You could call it the Match.com for volunteering in Hampton Roads. The United Way saw people wanted to become more involved, but didn't know how their skills could best be used.
Our certified agencies can log on and say what they need, everything from lawn care to a handyman to a music teacher or volunteers on a more weekly basis. The great thing about that is it's skills-based. So you can log on as a volunteer and say, I'm good at public relations or I am a handyman, and once you create that profile, it'll match you with one of our agencies that needs your skill. Or you can view all of them and see where you want to get involved or try something new. A lot of our agencies have year-round events, and so do we, that we need a couple extra volunteers. Or it could be something like REACH, where you have weekly volunteers that go out into the shelters and read.
The time taken is noted and very much appreciated.
It's the lifeblood of our organization. You know, the passion. Jordan and I are a two-woman shop here, and so we really need, you know, we find solace in those volunteers that can come out and share that same passion for us and go into these shelters and read to these kids. These volunteers have to have that passion to go in and deal with, you know, these issues that are facing these children and kind of take them away and help them celebrate literacy.
We really heard an outcry from the community and in the companies that we work with that they want to be engaged, they want to volunteer more.
The United Way encourages would-be volunteers to spend a little time creating a profile at the website serveshr.org. With just a few clicks, volunteer options will pop up that match your interests and abilities, what could be described as time well spent.
There's always a need, and a lot of what
Now, some people absolutely know they want to read to kids in their time that they have, and if that's the case, then REACH is a great way to donate your time. But if you don't really know, you just know you have the time and you want to give your time, go to serveshr.org and, you know, type stuff in. And I mean, I saw there was a need for a ballet teacher, somebody to paint mural cartoons, you know, I mean, different things that you wouldn't necessarily think would be a job that you can do for a local organization. There's another website that the United Way has put together. It's gift-link.org. It's kind of the same concept. So it's if an organization, let's say, needs a lawnmower or a couch or something, and you have that item, you can go online and find where you can donate your item, and you know that it's going to a place that will need it one day.
We talked earlier this week about, you know, what would you do if you weren't doing, you know, your current job. So if it is something like ballet or painting that might not be your full-time gig, you can still do it for people through that. That's good. Some people do, like you said, they know what they want to do. Others just want to go where they're most needed.
And you can find out what is needed. And also, I mean, for those folks who are maybe one day looking for a job, it's not a bad way to maybe get your foot in the door somewhere.
Right. Get more confident doing it, whatever you do with people and all that. All right, we could go on and on, except our producer said, please stop going on and on. We'll put all of the information at thehamptonroadshow.com. Thanks, Cheryl.
You're welcome. All right, in the Buzz Center, talking about hot topics this morning.
Proposals. We are sharing our proposal stories with you today, and it takes me back to when I proposed to Kathy, and I proposed the day before Thanksgiving so we could share with the family the next day our big news, and then a couple years later we shared with the family on Thanksgiving that we were expecting our first child.
And that they were happy. Now, did you ask her family before you proposed? Like, did they all know you were going to propose to her, or you just went straight for her?
I bypassed their family and went straight to her, and you know, I was so nervous.
Why?
I knew at the moment was right, and I knew she would say yes, but I was
Did you just ask really quick, will you marry me?
No, I just kind of slid the ring across the table and said, hey, what do you think?
And she was like, okay. Hey, what do you think?
It's not real romantic. No, it wasn't quite like that. I didn't get on a knee, and I don't know, man.
You're a good guy. All right, let's talk about some other wedding proposals here. Mike B says, I proposed to Amy when we were getting our church pictures taken, so I got the actual moment on film. How sweet. Jesse says, 16 of us went to a resort. I had the crowd and the DJ in on it, so Mr. DJ had a phony contest that they quote-unquote won. He says he sat her down in a chair on a small stage and he got down on one knee. She was surprised.
Nice.
Said yes, and then they both cried together. I'm going to cry as well. And Al Masters White says, we were out sailing near Willoughby in a little day sailor and the wind dropped. They were stuck out there trying to figure out if it was practical enough for them to go back to shore. And then her now hubby said, your left hand looks a little bare. I'd like to change that. The next day they went to pick out an engagement ring. 36 years later, that's awesome. They still have that little day sailor too.
Oh, wow. So you worked out Mother Nature to stop blowing?
Yep.
That's cool.
Some great proposal stories. And then, of course, well, the fun fact, it's leap day. You know, legend has it in the year 1288 in Scotland, it was made legal for women to propose to men in a leap year only. So
taking a leap
I'm
of
sure
faith.
some ladies out there proposed to the men.
Yeah. Maybe we can share a couple of those stories, and we'd love to hear about the proposals that went wrong.
Ooh. All right, well, still ahead, this brick house might be the perfect backdrop for your wedding, but the inside is also loaded with inspiration for a strong marriage, and this week's postcard from Hampton Roads is moments away.
And don't forget our pop quiz. You could win a $50 gift certificate to Ocean Palms. Just log on to thehamptonroadshow.com and click on the pop quiz button on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Welcome back to the Hampton Roads Show. Our live audience today is from the 34th annual of the Black Family at Hampton University. Coming to campus on March 14th, Jamantha Watson is here to tell us more about the event. Jamantha, the Black Family, why is this conference important, and what's the state of the Black Family?
So the Black Family is, we're in the process now of developing social issues, our spiritual issues, our emotional issues. In the Black Family, we deal with education. There's so many things, and in our State of the Black Family Conference, we focus on education. We focus on the spirituality aspect, as well as law and legal aspects, and then we wrap the entire focus up with a town hall meeting on Friday. One thing that we also are focusing on is Henrietta Lacks's book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. That is also a read-in that's throughout the entire campus. So we have a lot of things there that we're plugging into the conference.
Tell me more about that book and why that's such an important part of the conference.
Well, it's such an important part of the conference because Henrietta Skloot, her cells, as if you don't know much about the whole cancer-related issue with Henrietta Skloot's, her cancer cells are what we've been using for years and years and years and years, you know, to develop and do research for cancer, in fact. And her family knew very little about it. She passed away before this actual, she knew much about anyone knew about it. And then it's been made into a book. And as a result, we have one person who's doing a one-person show on this whole Henrietta Lacks issue. It's a really, really interesting conference. Lots of people there as well.
Let's talk about some of the people that are coming, because your speakers are really important.
Yeah, our speakers are. We have Will Smith's mother, well, actually Will Smith's aunt, Daphne Maxwell Reid. She played Will Smith's aunt in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Daphne Maxwell Reid is our keynote speaker. And that's on Wednesday, March 14th. In Ogden Hall. On the very next day is when we have several panels. We have concurrent panels, and we have a few highlighted speakers. One is Sonia Sanchez, poet, author, playwright Sonia Sanchez, and Marita Golden, okay? And then on our very final day, we wrap it up with the luncheon, and we have activist, social worker, playwright, author Amiri Baraka.
Okay, Jamantha, it sounds like a great time. The 34th Annual Conference on the Black Family. It is next weekend, March 14th through the 16th on the campus of Hampton University. You can find out more at events.hamptonu.edu/CBF, or you can call 727-5400. Get out and support the cause. Jamantha, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wedding Week continues in just a few moments. We're talking with our friends from Bayport Credit Union about how to take care of the important benefits of being a newlywed, from name changes to health insurance.
But first, Chef Jeff Sims from Abuelo's at Peninsula Town Center is working on that tasty tilapia Veracruz dish. We're going to finish up in just a few moments. All right, welcome back, everyone. In the kitchen with Chef Jeff Sims from Abuelo's at Peninsula Town Center in Hampton, making that tilapia Veracruz. We made the tilapia with the secret seasoning, which we have yet to figure out, because I might disappear if I figure it out.
I don't want you disappearing around here.
What do you have? Some vegetables?
Yeah, just do a little side dish of vegetables, little vegetable medley, broccoli, squash, green peppers, red peppers, carrots, with the special butter and the special seasoning.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what are we going to use? I know the peppers still. We have to put this together.
We're gonna start with the shrimp and scallops.
Or as folks down south say, scrimps.
Scrimps. Exactly. Throw a couple of scallops in there. Make it extra good.
Well, this is a super fast dish.
Oh yeah.
I mean, shrimps don't take long at all.
Shrimp and scallops don't take a very long time to cook at all.
Okay.
So once you get those going, you just let them get a little pink.
Okay.
At least the shrimp, you know, before you start adding everything in.
Okay.
With garlic and stuff, especially with the garlic, because you don't want to scorch the garlic and have it turn black on you. It's not going to be very tasty. It turns very tart.
Okay.
Okay. Put that in there.
That smells delicious.
Okay. You're going to go with your poblano strips.
All right.
Depending on how spicy you like it is how many you want to put in there.
Yes.
Okay. Let that saute down for a minute.
Okay.
Basically just going to let them heat up. The sauce is going to cook the rest of the going to cook the shrimp and
the
rest of the
tilapia
way.
is done.
Tilapia is
said
finished.
if you're able, and you had a spatula, if you were able to poke through,
you
know your fish is cooked.
Absolutely.
Okay. So some other things on the menu. I know this is a very popular dish, the tilapia Veracruz, but you had mentioned some new dishes that you guys have coming out.
Absolutely. We have our new pescado guerrero is made with barramundi. Like I was saying, it's like an Asian sea bass. You know, this comes out and it's this huge long piece of fish. You know, you get it and it's delicious. It's real flaky. The sauce is like it's called a guerrero sauce, and it's just a real thick, creamy sauce. You know, with all kinds of vegetables in it. You know, it's delicious.
Yeah, and you guys, I know, can go on the website and look at your entire menu.
Absolutely.
Before you go out.
Absolutely. Everything for the most part, you know, when it comes to our seafood dishes and stuff, you know, for the most part, everything's fairly healthy.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to have it with the sauce, but I mean, why would you want to do it without sauce?
And you get the vegetables as a side.
Yeah, right. You know, you get the vegetable.
So you don't feel so bad after
exactly.
you ate
You don't feel so guilty.
Thing of chips and queso, which is what I love. We were asking, I was like, why do they give you so much chips and queso or chips and dip? But maybe it's just to get your appetite going, so you just order more.
Exactly.
Super good.
Okay. So you let that wine reduce.
All right.
Let the wine reduce
wine?
for a
Okay.
little bit. Yeah, a little white wine. We use Chablis at the restaurant. You know, it's not as bitter and dry as most wines.
Okay.
So you let that reduce by about half.
Okay.
And you add the spicy tomato sauce. Okay.
Is that what they make the red sauce, like the base out of when you order like an enchilada, and they say with the red sauce? Is that?
No, we make all of our sauces. All of the sauces that we make are made in-house.
Oh, okay.
We make fresh sauces every day. I mean, and you know, I'm pretty sure I have my fair share of ruined chef coats and pants to prove it. You know, but it's
everywhere, yeah.
It's very very labor intensive in our restaurant because we do make so much stuff from scratch.
All right. Well, is this almost coming along for you to go ahead and plate it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, as you're getting this ready, I'm going to mention where Abuelos, of course, you're here from the Peninsula Town Center location in Hampton. You can give them a call. That number is 224-5340. Of course, you can always go online, look at the menu, see what they got going on, abuelos.com. And also there's another one in Chesapeake as well. That's here in the Hampton Roads area. Plating it up. All right, we'll let you plate this up, and we'll bring Carrie and Chris over here at the end of the show. We get to taste this. Chef, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, here's a few things you probably should talk about over dinner with your fiancé as we continue wedding week here on the Hampton Road Show. Everybody gets so excited about the wedding and the honeymoon and settling into their new life that sometimes folks can totally forget about the admin, as we call it, that comes along with getting married. Dawn Hicks is here from Bayport Credit Union. She's the Human Resources Coordinator and has some advice about kind of taking care of business, things like the name change and insurance, and what are some of those things that should kind of go on the list, the to-do list as well?
Okay. Well, Carrie, it's very easy to get wrapped up into the excitement of marriage and all of the changes that you're facing. So it's really important to make a list of the things that you need to do on the employer side. Name changes, address changes, update your emergency contact information. And then on the benefit side as well, health insurance, life insurance, your 401k or other retirement benefits.
And not just in terms of, like, when you say health insurance, looking at maybe your employer and your future spouse's employer and seeing whose benefits are better, but even things like who is your beneficiary, and would you change that to your spouse?
Absolutely. Things that you want to think about are your beneficiary designations. Also, you want to make sure that you are thinking ahead as far as your tax withholdings. You know, your tax bracket, your income is going to change now if you file, jointly versus independently. So there's a lot of different things that come into play.
How do folks make these decisions, though? What if they say, well, I don't know if we should file jointly or as together?
I would say, as far as your taxes, you want to see a tax advisor. But you can also visit your HR department at with your employer and sit down and talk with them about what your changes are and what your concerns are.
When should these things be done? Because every now and then you hear this story about, oh, I changed my name, but I didn't get around to changing it till, a couple years go by. I mean, is that okay, or should you kind of try and take care of these things sooner than later?
Well, the sooner the better. You don't want to wait until the last minute. You don't want to wait until it's time to file your taxes to go down to the Social Security office and change your name with them. There's things that you can do in advance before you even walk down the aisle and actually take the plunge. You might want to get with your Human Resources Department beforehand. You can get your paperwork together as far as comparing your benefits with your upcoming spouses and things like that.
And the person who is your Human Resources Manager, and we know, at your workplace, it's you. You kind of deal with this stuff day in, day out, so people shouldn't feel badly about, asking those questions or needing a little help or advice.
You're right, and that's what we're there for.
Anything else that you see people forgetting about, or any common mistakes, any more words of warning and advice that you have for our viewers?
Well, what I see most frequently is health insurance cards.
Okay.
Getting your name changed on your health insurance cards, and your address. A lot of people seem to forget about that until it's too late, until you haven't received your bills, your taxes, or you need to make that trip to the doctor and your ID doesn't match your health insurance card.
Right. All right. So stay out of that situation. Make sure you take care of that admin, those tasks, and you can get more help from your HR person. If you need help, though, making some of those financial decisions in particular, don't forget there are 14 Bayport Credit Union locations across Hampton Roads. They can help you work that out, or you can go online, log on to bayportcu.com. Dawn Hicks, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Today's postcard from Hampton Roads could be the perfect spot if you're planning your special day or want to make any day special. We're going to show you around the Lynn Haven house in just a few minutes.
So much goes into getting married, the marriage and the partnership, and you just had some great advice over there on how to make everything perfect, and Bayport can help you out with that.
Kind of like the dotting the I's and the crossing of the T's, but I did want to reiterate that that's bayportcu.org. I said .com out of habit, but it's bayportcu.org if you want the advice on the financial planning.
There's so much planning that goes into it. You got to take that extra step, find that help. wherever you can.
And all of that, of course, comes after the big engagement. So we were asking today what that proposal was like, and you guys are sharing some great stories. And we're also asking about how you deal with politics in your relationship. Well, let's hear those proposal stories. Becky said, my hubby proposed to me swinging on swings together 32 years ago.
Isn't that nice?
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Becky says, New Year's Eve, 1996. I'm envisioning big hair and shoulder pads. She said, I had a feeling that my then boyfriend was going to propose, but I had thought about it as well. Whoever said a woman couldn't ask a man? I had a cake order that said, will you marry me? And she said she had an Irish clatter ring for him. Oh my gosh, I have to see the rest of the story. She had bought the clatter ring. I said we should do gifts at dessert, but when the salads arrived, he said, close your eyes, dropped to one knee and proposed. Here we are 15 years still married. And she says she loves her husband so much. So she was about to do it, and then he did it.
Wow.
I wonder if he still got the clatter ring, or if she just kind of was like,
I've never heard of a clatter ring.
what? It's the Irish, the hands, the heart, and the crown.
Never.
Ring, faced in if you're
So
committed,
you
faced
learn
out if
something
you're
new
looking.
every day on this show.
Yeah.
That's good. Never
All right. Peggy said my hubby proposed to me in the car on the way to his mother's house.
Stuck in traffic, no doubt.
Maybe. All right, we appreciate those stories too. And you said you proposed to Kathy right before the opera?
Right before the opera, and the next day we announced to the family.
That's nice.
It was good. It worked out well.
Let's talk about politics and marriage. Anne says, she says she doesn't have to worry about getting into those political arguments because Anne says no spouse. All right, maybe we can do a little matchmaking here. We find somebody else.
Yeah.
Ramon says politics and marriage partners are alike. They both use lies and false promises to advance their agenda and spend most of their time arguing over funding. Isn't that romantic? Come on. He may have a point, though.
Yep.
He may. All right, more of your comments in just a little bit. Right now, we're going over to Ariane.
All right, well, if you're a mom, you know that childbirth is miraculous, but it can also do a number on your body. Joining us now is Dr. Tad Granga, director of the Chesapeake Center for Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery, with some options for the mommy makeover. Dr. Granga, welcome to the Hampton Roads Show.
Good morning. Thank you.
So, moms out there, they've had a child and they're interested in going down this path. How would they know if they're a good candidate for this type of surgery?
Well, that's a very good question, and when the children come and the figure goes, that's the time to start thinking about it. Plus, this time of year, spring's coming, summer's coming, summer outfits, you know, bathing suits and short season's going to be coming. So, what we'll do in a consultation when we discuss the mommy makeover is to custom create a plan, and I'll use 2 or more of the procedures that I most commonly might perform. That could be a tummy tuck, liposuction of the hips or thighs, arms, even the neck, breast lift, maybe breast enhancement as well. And when we put that plan together, it's to help keep a woman looking her best and to restore a figure that might have been altered by pregnancy, breastfeeding included. And when that happens, we generally can restore it, oftentimes to a more trim figure even before. So when a woman wants to see her figure rendered in high definition, it's time to start thinking about the mommy makeover.
Now, what if they've had surgery before? Can they go ahead and get this procedure done?
Oftentimes we'll see women who've had cesarean sections. That scar does not generally get in my way to help create the trimmer figure, especially with the tummy. Some operations might even give us a better hint as to how a patient recovered and use that as a predictor and how one might do as well in their recovery.
Well, I know we have some before and after photos that we want to show our viewers, and you can just explain what we're looking at here.
Well, on the left-hand side of the screen, Ariana, you'll see that we have individuals who've had their children. Generally speaking, we want to make certain that that phase of life has finished, and so then go on to address either the slack areas of the tummy. There's generally some loose skin, maybe some stretch damage as well. Oftentimes I find that the muscles have been separated by the actual childbearing itself, maybe even the factors involved with the delivery. So on the right-hand side, we'll see what's been created afterwards. We want to see that the breasts are uplifted, creating a more youthful shape. We want to see a trimmer contour around the waist, as well as the front of the tummy, a flatter surface, tighter muscles. Doing that helps to enable a person to conduct their exercises more efficiently, especially when it comes to sit-ups and other exertional activities they might like to pursue. When we see here on the left that there's excess amount of fatty tissue that just it stays, it remains there even after some very vigorous exercise and even ardent dietary attempts to get rid of it, and these are the places where we're going to be able to help the most because they just don't go away. They're very resistant to even some very measures to help keep that figure trim. And so when it does not work for a particular individual. That's where our Mommy Makeover can be of help to create the more youthful figure, sometimes even an athletic figure, and to restore, sometimes to enhance a woman's natural figure after the childbirth effects.
And depending on some of the procedures, what is the recovery time like?
Well, the recovery time will vary from person to person. I think it depends on how fit and how athletically inclined that individual is to begin with. We'll like to generally see that after about 4 weeks, sometimes up to 6 weeks, we can release a person to exertional exercises and conditioning exercises, but we like a person to be working towards that in the meanwhile.
Okay.
It's not just a period of time to take time off, but rather to be working towards their ultimate goals, physically fit figure and a youthful, shapely figure.
Like you said, with summer and spring coming around, when to get back in those swimsuits. All right, so definitely if you want to talk to Dr. Gringa, you can schedule a consultation. The information is Chesapeake Center for Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery. That phone number is 673-5900, drgringa.com. We'll have all that information on our website, thehamptonroadshow.com. Dr. Gringa, thanks so much.
Thank you, Ariane.
All right, there is a reason one of the three little pigs decided to build his house out of brick.
That's right, and sturdiness is also why a local couple decided to build their dream home the same way, but they made that call 300 years ago, and the Lynn Haven house is still standing today, and it's this week's postcard from Hampton Roads. Well, many families over time have had the idea of getting out of the big city and getting out into the rural countryside. And when Francis and Abigail Thelobald decided to do that in the 17th century, they came here to what's known as the Lynn Haven House in Virginia Beach. I want to introduce you now to Ann Miller. She's the curator for the historic homes in the city of Virginia Beach, and there are so many. But this one really is truly special. Tell me what brings folks here to visit the Lynn Haven House.
The Lynn Haven House is like a hidden gem here, and it is a great example of the house that is not really a wealthy person's house. It's the house of kind of middling people who are starting to move up in the world. And we know that because it is a brick house. And brick houses are really the only houses that survive from the early 18th century. But it is the house of people who were just starting to have a plantation. They only had 250 acres. But they really built a quality house with lots of artistic details, and that is what makes it so beautiful.
It's a great way to see not just the way houses were built back then, but some of the furnishings as well.
I think the thing that people really notice most is that the bed is in the parlor.
Now why?
Because the bed had the most status symbol attached to it, the textiles. The textiles were quite expensive, so they wanted to show them off. The grounds are wonderful. We have a garden that we use to talk about the kinds of herbs that were used for culinary and medicinal purposes in the 18th century. We have a wonderful old cemetery that we can use to talk about the descendants of the people who lived here and the later owners. And we use the grounds for special programs as well as for rentals. We have weddings here very frequently. The weddings are usually here right on the grounds with the house as a backdrop, and then the reception is inside in the building, which is the Colonial Education Center. It's a new building. We use it for facility rentals as well as for school groups that visit.
So it just happens to be wedding week on the Hampton Road Show, so it sounds like there's a lot of flexibility. If people want their wedding to be inside or outside, you can have that foul weather plan just in case.
That's absolutely right.
All right, so if folks are not planning a wedding but just interested in coming, when is the house open? Are there guided tours, or how does that work if someone's planning a visit?
The house is open Tuesday through Sunday, Tuesday through Saturday 10 to 4, and Sunday noon to 4. Just stop by and you'll get a tour as soon as you come in.
Okay, and you can kind of go at your own pace and I guess experience a time when the pace of life was a whole lot slower. And when you come here to visit the Lynn Haven House, make sure you tell them the Hampton Roadshow sent you. And you know, it was continually occupied until 1960. Which is why it was in such good shape. So somebody was living there up until, you know, fairly recently.
Is that a starter home for a young couple?
It was the starter home 300 years ago for that couple, yeah.
250 acres, not bad.
But how about the bed right as soon as you walk in? I mean, when people come over now, it's like, don't let them in my room. You know, that's like where we throw the coats and all the stuff we don't want anybody to see. So it's just so interesting to see what life was like back then.
Neat. Very good. All right. Thanks for sharing that, Carrie.
You betcha.
Let's take a look at the pop quiz for today. For those that want to share the answer, I'll give it here in a moment. All right, first clue is this, North Suffolk. Second clue, another name for Charles. Put your shirt in, question mark, and A in the middle. Word clue. Word search. So.
I think we're going to have to give Ariane a little grace on this one, because you'd really have to be around for a while before. Even though they're ready for with your close-up, in case you had the right answer.
Ariane knows.
All right.
Huh?
I heard it whispered correctly.
I was like, chuck a duck.
Yeah.
Tuck
your shirt
Saying
in.
that on TV, Chris.
You're setting me up.
She didn't trust me.
All right, we're going to go in the kitchen with Chef Jeff Sims from Abuelos when we come back. Stay with us.
That's funny.
Like to thank
really good.
We would like to thank our live audience today from Hampton University Conference of the Black Family next weekend. So get out and supporting. You guys have a great conference next weekend.
And Chef Jeff Sims from Abuelos at Peninsula Town Center in Hampton. The tilapia Veracruz is off the chain.
It's really good.
This secret seasoning, we're still.
I'm gonna email you.
I'm gonna email you when I come up with it. But it's very delicious.
Won't be a secret any longer.
Yeah.
It's good. And also you have a kicking happy hour too that you said. Folks
Absolutely.
Vicious. It's mean.
All right.
I want to thank Dr. Granga as well from the Chesapeake Center for Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery. Have all that information on our website.
All right, and if you're getting married, don't forget about all that admin. Go see your HR person for the name change, the insurance, all that. If you want more advice on how to take care of those things, you can visit bayportcu.org. All right, we're back tomorrow.
Morning.
Good job on postcards.
Oh, thank you very much.
See you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.